Hello, my name is Grace Lyons and I'm doing my final project on social media versus young adults. First, we're going to talk about social media in general. So when social media first came out, they wanted it to be a social media platform that connected people globally. They wanted people to have easy access to information, and they wanted people to be able to spread kindness and happiness globally throughout the world. However, I think social media has taken some steps away from their original goal, and we have now seen a marketplace on Facebook that us are the products that are being sold. And we have now seen the age of misinformation, and we've also experienced major bullying, increase in depression and anxiety due to continuous self-comparison and self-identity crises and insecurities that lead from constantly seeing people on social media. First, we're going to be talking about unrealistic views on life and careers. We are going to be talking about social media influencers. And just for clarification, social media influencers are somebody who make people that make money off how many likes they get and how many people follow them, how famous they are, or how pretty they are. So an influencer, according to Chantel Romero, a journalist who writes specifically about the effects that social media can have on young minds, she says, if one doesn't get as many likes, one might feel as society's expectations aren't being met. And that can go right along with social media influencers, because if we don't feel like we're getting as many likes as the influencers, then we want to be them. We feel like our society's expectations aren't being met, and even though we've set way too high expectations for ourselves, because they do that as a career and we do not. And that's another thing. We, as young adults, we look at influencers as having lives that they travel, they make money, they get to go have fun around the world. They do what we dream about. They dream and make money, and we look at it as very easy. We don't see what goes on behind the camera. We don't see what happens before and after, how they got there in general. And so it increases on FOMO. So FOMO is fear of missing out. So as somebody who's in school, when I see influencers traveling the world and making money, I have a fear that I'm missing out because I'm here studying instead of working hard to become an influencer and traveling the world, even though that is a very unrealistic way of thinking, because being an influencer kind of just happens on its own. It doesn't really happen forcibly. It's important to be aware in the difference between trying to portray an image online and what actually happens before or after that post. So, just like I was saying, it is on social media, we only see the outcome that the influencers want us to see. We don't see the work that goes in before or after. Most importantly, social media can be deceiving and make individuals believe in a false reality. So the false reality is that we can just become an influencer, travel the world, make money, be famous, make lots of friends, and then we're going to be set for the rest of our lives. However, that is not a very stable way of thinking for your career and your career path. Next, we're going to be talking about the mental health dilemma. And so according to the South Austin Counseling Center, an excessive amount of social media can lead to insecurity, distraction, addiction, social anxiety, and cyberbullying. So insecurity. Obviously, I find myself looking at people on social media, seeing their positive posts, and then feeling a way of self-comparison, like look at myself, then look at them, and then that increases my depression, anxiety, because I feel as if I'm not as good as I originally thought. Distraction. I obviously see this in my day-to-day life as well. all it takes is one text, and then all of a sudden, 2 hours later, I haven't gotten any work done, but I'm on Facebook and Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, and all of that. So it decreases productivity, which can lead to many more problems down the road. So addiction. What acts as positive reinforcement becomes addictive. So I've definitely found this in myself, that when I get a certain number of likes on my Instagram post, my brain releases serotonin, and it's a good feeling having that many people like what I'm posting. However, that can become addictive, because then when that expectation isn't met, we automatically get depressed, anxious, because we feel like we're not good enough. Social anxiety. I definitely believe that with COVID in general as well, we haven't gotten that many face-to-face interactions and social interactions, especially for the younger generations. But I think social media has a bigger part to play in that, because the number one means of communication is texting, calling, FaceTiming. It's not, let's go over to their house and have a conversation. It's, I'll text you. So I believe that social anxiety is definitely on the increase, and I don't think we're going to be seeing a decrease anytime soon with everything going on, because kids in my generation and younger aren't getting the social interaction that they should be, and in the social experience. And I think that is really going to be a mental health crisis one day. However, there are benefits people would argue. These benefits, including making friendships worldwide, gives room for personal expression, has never been so easy to get information, and the internet can be a vehicle for doing good and spreading it around the globe. So first of all, we're going to talk about worldwide friendships. This is so true. It is so easy now for somebody in America to text somebody in Russia and then them have a conversation. Gives room for personal expression. So yeah, now, beforehand, in schools, you might feel like you're singled out. You don't have anybody that really likes the kind of things that you like, but now on the internet, there's a wide range of people that use it. So now people are finding their groups and their cliques that all like the same things, and it is a much easier means of self-expression. So it has never been so easy to get information. However, I would like to add in that this is the age of misinformation, and misinformation, especially this past year, has just been on the rise, and that's all I see nowadays. So I just want to say this is the age of information. However, for the people listening, I would like to see more people, instead of believing everything they see on the internet, doing their research, their own research on it, unbiased research, to just get a more well-rounded and clear view of what might be happening. I still do believe that the internet is a vehicle for doing good and spreading kindness around the world, because what might be happening good in America, somebody in Australia might be like, wow, that's amazing, that made me feel good, or vice versa. So I believe that the internet can be a very good tool. However, I think that we need to learn how to use it correctly and properly. So these are my references. And in conclusion, I'd like to say that I hope everybody listening to this understands that social media is a good thing, but also takes into consideration that it should be used properly. Sometimes when you're doing your homework, leave your phone in another room, power it off. Just make sure that you're using the internet properly and at the right times. Thank you so much for listening to my speech.